First, I want to thank everybody who's already gotten up here. Those that have been brave and bold and got up here for the first time. Let's hear it for them. And also for that lineup of speakers you got us. Yeah, hear it again. Yeah, woo. Okay, I'll put the mic down a little bit. I'm kind of loud sometimes. My life has drastically changed in the last few years. Anybody that knows me probably knows that there's quite a bit of change in my life. A few years ago, I used to live in Dallas. I worked on the top floor of one of those large buildings that look out over the freeway in Dallas. That was where my office was. I quit that job. I left corporate America, and I started my own business. And at the same time, I lived in this beautiful neighborhood in Dallas, close to downtown. You know, the kind of neighborhood where there are truckloads of landscapers that are dropped off during the week, and they're clipping and trimming and manicuring the lawns. The kids in the neighborhood all go to the private schools. That was my neighborhood. My wife, now my ex-wife, she was a supervisor at a call center. This was just a few short years ago. Her job was outsourced to the Philippines. Our house value jumped dramatically, and property tax and everything. My mortgage went up 20% a month. My wife and I had some traumatic times. We divorced, we sold the house, and 2 weeks before my wife gave me divorce papers, my grandmother, who was 90, well, she was 98 this year, she had asked me 2 weeks before, because we put her in a nursing home, if I would take care of her house in Perkins, Oklahoma. Perkins. Let's hear it for Perkins. Perkins has a population, according to the 2000 census, of 2,272 people. Right. And this was my grandmother, who was a teacher. My grandmother, who was a teacher, a first grade teacher. But anyway, we put her in the nursing home. She asked me to take care of the house. 2 weeks before, I was surprised with these divorce papers. Not completely surprised, but surprised. Anyway, so I'm thinking, what am I going to do when I'm divorced here? I had a business where I could live anywhere. So I decided, yes, Grandma, I'll take care of your house. So I moved from Dallas, and all of my clients were Dallas-Fort Worth clients. And I moved from Dallas to Perkins, Oklahoma. After my divorce, I was depressed, living in a rural community where I knew no one except for relatives. My dad was on a farm 10, 15 miles away. But otherwise, I didn't know anybody in this small community. And I didn't feel like I had anything to do with these guys. You know, I had no connections with this rural community. I grew up in Tulsa. I graduated from the second largest graduating class in Oklahoma, over 600 students in my graduating class. My dad's graduating class, 10. But anyway, yeah, exactly. So here I am in Perkins. I have my computer, my grill, and my dog, and that's me. And I had Twitter. I had Facebook. I had social media. I was very depressed. I was doing everything I could just to get basic job done just to get the basic work done. I was depressed. And I thought, how am I going to reconnect to the fire I had once? That excitement. How was I going to reconnect to that? So I started thinking, what got me excited about my business when I first started it? What did I really like? And that's when I decided, well, you know what? I'm going to start a blog. Power to fight the big boys. Yeah. Now, there's a little bit before this. My mom lived about an hour away from Perkins. And I would go over to her house, and she always had books on the little coffee table. One book on that coffee table kept grabbing my attention every time I looked at it. The title of that book, Stand for Something. Stand for something. And that's why I decided to go after this, power to fight the big boys. I decided, this happened week after week. I kept seeing that. Stand for something. And that's when I said, well, I've got to do it. And that's when I started doing Power to Fight the Big Boys. And at that point, I started tweeting. I started interviewing people like Becky. And I took a stand. And that's what I want you all to do today. Decide to take a stand. If you haven't taken a stand yet, decide. Choose to. Do it today. Because even when you post a picture about your cows, if you have chosen to take that stand, you will know Becky's about small towns. All right? Everybody raise their hand that is deciding, no, put your hand back up, that's deciding to take a stand. Take a stand. Stand for something. That's all I have to say.